Congressman, I know you were previously undecided. What led you to decide you will vote no?
Well, this is not a high crime or misdemeanor. It's not an impeachable offense. This is a policy difference. Let me, from the outset, say there is a crisis on the border. The law needs to be enforced. But if we start going down this path of impeachment with a cabinet official, we are opening a door as Republicans that we don't want to open. The next president, who is a Republican, will face the same scrutiny from Democrats. It's wrong, and we should not set this precedent.
Have leaders been trying to convince you otherwise? And is there anything that will change your mind? Or when you say solid no, you mean solid no?
Yeah, I'm not changing my mind. I have met with Chairman Green from the Homeland Security Committee. I have met with the staff. I have talked to outside constitutional experts. I've talked to former members of Congress about what this would mean for Congress. I believe I have done my due diligence, and I am standing firm at this point on this. If there's some new evidence, I'm happy to look at it, but I don't believe there will be.
We are closely watching three other House Republicans who have not committed to voting in favor of impeachment: Tom McClintock, Dave Joyce, Dan Newhouse. And I wonder, Congressman, have you spoken to any of them? And do you have any expectation that they might join you in voting no?
I have had some private conversations with one or more of them. I am really not going to reveal those. I think they have to make their decision and announce it when they're ready. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are two or three Republicans who will vote no, myself and one or two others.
What do you think would drive that? And I'm very curious about your conversations, for example, that you just said you had with former members of Congress, what they said to you that was so convincing about what this means for the House as a body.
Yeah, I voted against the first Trump impeachment, the second Trump impeachment. I didn't believe those met the standard. And I feel the same way in this situation. We can't use impeachment as a way to settle policy differences. We have a number of tools in our toolbox. We have the power of the purse. We have other ways of trying to get the Biden administration to take the border more seriously. Impeachment just should not be one of them. We open that Pandora's box, we're going to be in trouble as a country.
Do you have concern over the optics, Congressman, of House Republicans trying to impeach Mayorkas on accusations of inaction while they vow, some of them, to stop legislation to take action on the border?
I do have concerns about that. I have concerns about the optics. I have concerns about the reality that any law that would help an executive branch official deal with the crisis on the border, we should enact. The Biden administration decided not to use the Remain in Mexico policy that the Trump administration had, to not use the agreements with Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador that the Trump administration had. Those were bad decisions, and part of what's happening right now were the result of those bad decisions. But any law that would help us deal with this situation is a law that we should try to adopt, try to support, and find ways to help the immigration crisis that's occurring right now.
The polls show most Americans agree with you. This is not necessarily a partisan issue. People are concerned about what is happening at the border. They want Congress to do something. So one thing, as we said, is the optics of this. But the other thing is the political reality. You have a very slim majority on the Republican side. Could this backfire?
When you say this, the Mayorkas impeachment?
Yes.
I believe it can, absolutely. I think that it will be looked at as a political gimmick, a stunt. I don't believe it will be taken seriously by the American public. Say we were successful in impeaching Mayorkas and the Senate convicted, which is very unlikely. What would happen at that point? President Biden would appoint someone else who agreed with his policies, and I don't believe there would be any remediation on the border. And so it is a stunt, and we should be more concerned about our spending crisis and dealing with new legislation on the border crisis.
Let me ask you finally about the bipartisan tax bill. It passed the House overwhelmingly yesterday, 257 in favor, 70 against, to temporarily expand the child tax credit and restore a number of business tax benefits. But you were among the minority who voted against it. There is some question about whether it will get through the Senate. What are your concerns, and do you believe those concerns can be addressed by the Senate and that this could still go through?
I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think any concern can be addressed by the Senate. This bill costs billions and billions of dollars, number one. Number two, 91.5% of the beneficiaries of this bill don't pay any taxes at all. It is a welfare bill that is really labeled a tax cut. You don't cut taxes from people who don't pay taxes. And so I don't think it is really going to benefit the people that it was intended to benefit. And I think it is a mistake to go down the path that we are going down at this point.
Congressman Ken Buck, thank you again for being on the program. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
In Europe, an agreement on a major EU aid package that will send more than 50 billion euros to help Ukraine's economy that, of course, has been ravaged by war.